What's up, Facebook Live? Chris Lambert here. It's my 40th birthday. I was born on May 18th, 1980, the very day that Mount St. Helens erupted. And I'm also the founder and CEO of Life Remodeled. And it's kind of cool because this year is our 10th year anniversary. So pretty sweet how our birthday and my birthday and Life Remodeled's 10-year birthday lined up. And what we're going to do right now is basically I'm going to share with you some of the updates, what's been happening lately with Life Remodeled since COVID-19 happened. I'm sure you've heard about COVID-19. Yeah, right. And you're all making pivots probably to your lives, to your organizations, and we've made some major changes. So I want to catch you up with what's happening there and also share some more of our plans for the future. There's a bit of a delay on this broadcast, so if I'm late in answering your question, just give me a minute. A couple people are going to be texting me their questions as well. So the first thing we did was we closed down the Durfee Innovation Society on May 18th and on March 18th, and we're planning to reopen it back this month on May 28th. We immediately started increasing our communication with Durfee students, central students, community leaders, and all of our tenants in the Durfee Innovation Society. And if anybody doesn't know what the Durfee Innovation Society is, basically it's a one-stop shop of opportunity for children, youth, and adults where kids can get lots of after-school programming. There's thousands of job opportunities for adults of all ages and opportunities for children and seniors to get human services. We're literally serving over 30,000 people a year through the Durfee Innovation Society. And so we knew that we needed to be talking with our tenants who are our partners in this organization during this time like never before. We also started meeting several short-term needs right away, thanks to our discussion with the community leaders and the students to find out what they needed. So we started passing out food for 300 families every other Saturday with gleaners. And we just did a partnership today that is going to be every week for several months with Eastern Market, where we're actually passing out 700 boxes of fresh, locally grown produce every single week. That was really, really successful today, and we're super excited about that. Many of you know we've been doing gift card purchases. Thanks to several donors, we've purchased $16,500 worth of gift cards to 4 Black-owned Detroit restaurants. And what that did is it gave families a special treat where they didn't have to cook a meal. They were able to buy exactly what they wanted from a really good restaurant. And then it supported great Black-owned establishments in Detroit that really deserve our help during this time. And we've also offered and provided rent assistance for several families in their homes. We've helped 10 families. Every single parent in those homes have lost their jobs. And that's a total of 41 children living in those 10 homes. So that's really gone a long way. Thank you guys for all your support. For our tenants in the Durfee Innovation Society, we've offered up to 2 months of deferred rent to be able to help those organizations out. And of course, you know, we've been doing these Facebook Lives on relevant subjects. Today's really just a recap of what's happening and kind of a future cast of what's going to happen next. But we've been engaging with people who have COVID-19 and are battling it, people in the healthcare sector, politicians, church leaders, rabbis, people from many, many different walks on some really interesting subjects around race and poverty and just what's happening in our lives during this crazy time. We also, as an organization, decided we really needed to totally reevaluate what are our organization's greatest strengths. And then we needed to reimagine our programs, our strategies, and even our positions within our organization to prepare for this very new normal that we're already experiencing. But here's where I'm coming from personally, and I don't mean to say this in a downer kind of way or whatnot, because I'm not freaked out by it, but I'm actually convinced that we're probably as a country going to enter into a greater depression than the Great Depression of the 1930s. You know, now that would all change if we're able to come out with the antibody solutions or the vaccine solution. And I hope to God we do as quick as we can. But if that doesn't happen, I'm pretty confident we're going to enter into a pretty serious time of financial crisis in our country. And I think that that would mean that many, many, many nonprofits would not make it. maybe a quarter to a third, if not more, of nonprofits would no longer exist. And so we've taken some steps at our organization to really make sure we're prepared for that future, hoping to God that doesn't happen, but we're taking the steps now before it's too late. And so first we just reassessed, what does the community need in this new normal? And began to really pay attention to what were some of the changes that were happening and what do we expect to happen. So we reworked several of our programs, doubled down on others, and we also reevaluated our positions, and it made us really a lot more lean as an organization. So we began to then reorg, and some positions went away and some positions stayed and some positions changed. And so that means that we had to make some staffing changes, which is very difficult. It's nothing that you ever want to let anybody go. But during this time, it was something that we realized we had to do financially. And we also needed to just make some changes to be leaner and more efficient, but then fill several positions that we would have normally hired people with volunteers. So we've been developing job descriptions for some really key volunteer roles. Some of those are going to be rolled out over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. So you'll be seeing those via email and social media. And then in our building, in order to make sure that we have enough cash for the future, we immediately pushed pause on any non-critical renovations to our building. So we're only doing the essential stuff. I'm really excited to announce that we've been getting loads and loads and loads of in-kind labor donated by tons of companies, several construction companies. Handy Pro's been doing a lot of pro bono labor for us. And then Stark Enterprises, ABC, and Semca, they're all working to get in our building and do some in-kind labor as soon as they possibly can. There's a digital marketing company called 24G, and they're actually helping us tell this story of how companies are giving back during this time. And a lot of that has to do with the PPP funding that several contractors got. And they're using a lot of that funding to engage their employees to actually do work in our building, which is pretty cool. There's another marketing company called Seeds Marketing and Design. They've actually begun an entire rebranding of the Durfee Innovation Society, which we're super pumped about. That probably means we're going to have a brand new logo, not only for the Durfee Innovation Society, but also for Life Remodeled. So stay tuned. I'll let you know when we're ready to announce that. That's probably going to be a few months before we're really ready to announce it. And then a lot's going to change with that rebranding, which is going to really help us tell our story better and really nail down the essentials of how to communicate better with the community and the youth about what's happening at the Durfee Innovation Society and how this is going to create to help lead to people getting jobs in a very short period of time. How it's going to help kids improve academically significantly, and especially given the fact that kids are being passed on to the next grade, missing a lot of school. That's going to be more important than ever. And then also how we're really going to help people thrive through a variety of our tenants offering human services. We've also got a company called Visualization Technology Services, and they're actually going to do a free virtual tour of our building, because one of our strategies to introduce new prospective donors to our organization is to give them a tour of our building, and really not just the physical parts of our building, but to show them what's happening in this space, how lives are being transformed. And so this virtual tour is going to be a way that we're going to be able to engage people, because we know a lot of people aren't going to want to come in and out of buildings unnecessarily, or even just for a tour. And so we're going to have several Zoom live parties and engaging donors through this virtual tour way that will record testimonials of various people whose lives are being impacted through the Durfee Innovation Society, through Life Remodeled. So we're really excited about all this pro bono work. We're also going to have a new app coming out thanks to Catalyst XL, a brand new Life Remodeled app, totally free. You'll be able to download it on your iPhone, Android, whatever, tablet. It's going to be super sweet. That's all I can tell you about it right now. But you'll probably hear more about that in the next 3 months or less. We're also about to do several other new things in the community. We've partnered with Genegrass Global and G1 and several other organizations where they are trying to raise funding to get 100,000 masks, cotton masks made by Detroit Sewn, and donate those to community residents and youth in the community many who don't have masks right now. And so we've partnered as a distribution site. We're going to distribute those masks, thousands and thousands of masks to the community. We're also going to be engaging in more emotional support. And there's going to be several volunteer opportunities where if you want to call up senior citizens or various residents in the community, just to ask them how they're doing and listen, right? This isn't a counseling call. This isn't an information session. It's just calling people to let them know you care about them and you're here to see what Life Remodeled may be able to do to help them, and just listen to them and what's going on in their lives. And so it's really just being a listening ear. We're also going to be radically changing our 6-day project this year. We do plan for it to happen, but it will happen in a very, very different way. We're actually planning to call it the 5-day project, and it'll only be Monday through Friday, the first week of October. This is not solidified, but we're working on solidifying plans by the end of June. We want to limit it to only 5,000 volunteers, which sounds like a lot, but we actually have a plan where you would never have to come in contact with another person in less than 10 feet the entire day. We've got a plan to social distance the entire thing. I know 6 feet is what's recommended. We're going to make it 10 feet so that everyone's completely safe. And we're really excited about how this plan is going to come together. But know that we plan to have that plan solidified by the end of June, and then release that and communicate that to our partners and see who would like to get involved. But that'll, of course, be blight removal on vacant property. One of the reasons that's so important is the city, of course, is struggling financially significantly and has pushed pause on all blight removal efforts. So our work is going to be more critical than ever. And also, we're all about bridging people across divides to help transform each other's lives. In our 5-day project, our 6-day project, as we normally call it, is one of the best ways to bring people together. So even though you'll be socially distanced, you're going to still see thousands of people throughout the community working on blocks all throughout on vacant properties. And it's going to be a really special time. We're going to make it so you're not riding on a bus like you normally do with us. You're not eating lunch with us. And the shifts are only going to be 4 hours from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And you're going to drive exactly to the block you're going to work on, rather than coming to a central location and registering. All registration will be done digitally. You're going to sign your waiver digitally. These are all things we're working out right now, but I'm really excited about that. I'm going to go back to the Durfee Innovation Society for a minute. And some of the other things we're doing is we're helping our nonprofit tenants and our for-profit entrepreneurs to collaborate at an even higher level. Because when we share resources, we're actually helping our organizations grow much stronger and have much more collective impact. And so we surveyed our tenants and found out that the number one and number two thing that they want is shared marketing efforts, where we're going to help communicate our work to the community and all of our tenants' work more effectively. And they also wanted a shared grant writer. So we've actually written a grant to see if we can get a shared grant writer for the Durfee Innovation Society. And we'll see if we get that grant. If we do, we'll go forward with it. But we're also looking at sharing other staffing positions like bookkeeping, HR, other financial controlling opportunities, or professional development as well that we're working on. And we're also trying to add several new key partnerships to achieve our goals of dramatically improving kids' lives when it comes to academics. One thing we know every kid needs is caring, consistent adults in their lives. And so we're working on trying to partner with Big Brother, Big Sisters to get Big Brother, Big Sister for every single kid at Durfee and Central who wants one. There's over 900 kids at that kindergarten through 12th grade school right next to us. And so we don't know for sure yet how many kids are going to want a Big Brother, Big Sister, but we think a lot of them will. And then our role will be to find the kids that want a Big Brother, Big Sister, and then find the volunteers who want to become Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And then Big Brother, Big Sisters organization will take it from there. So we hope to have more on that partnership also in the next 3 months. We're working on the details of that now. Temple Israel, which is the largest Jewish temple in the entire world, has also made a very significant commitment to tutor kids every single week. So we're going to be stepping up the opportunities for tutoring, academic improvement. We're working on finding some fitness coaches, some nutrition coaches, and youth sports to bring more of fitness, sports, nutrition to the Durfee Innovation Society, more outside opportunities. So if you know of a program that might be interested in operating in our building or outside on our property, please let us know. And then lastly, the last thing I'm going to say is that we're pushing pause right now on any attempts to expand to other neighborhoods in Detroit. And we also, prior to COVID-19, we were looking at expanding, creating other chapters of Life Remodeled in other large US cities around the country. So I've been spending a fair amount of time in Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis, and other places. And we're pushing pause on that all right now because we're going to focus exclusively on the community we're in. We're going to make sure we're creating a highly successful environment given the radical challenges that we've already seen and what we think are going to be even greater challenges potentially down the road. And so we're going to make sure this community has all that it needs to be successful in terms of what Life Remodeled and our partners can offer before we ever start looking at going to the next neighborhood. We still plan to go to another neighborhood within the next 3 to 4 years, possibly less. But we're not actively pursuing the next neighborhood like we were before COVID-19. So those are just a few highlights that I want to share with you guys. One more highlight I'll share with you is these highlights are going to be gone thanks to you guys. We put it in your hands. We had a donor that said, Chris, I'll give you $500 if you'll consider cutting your blonde off your hair. So we turned it into a contest and you guys voted. I want to say it was like 60% of you guys said that you want me to chop this thing off, the blonde, which I was really like hurt by that. I cried. I've been grieving nonstop. No, I'm kidding. But this is just temporary. So what I'm going to do right now is just take a little slice off. This is actually hard to do because the camera is backwards. But there you go. I cut off my highlights. And hopefully that's enough to satisfy you guys. I don't need to cut off any more than that, right? No, I'm kidding. I'm going to cut it all off and probably going to do that sometime later this week. Let my wife do it. And she actually shaved the sides of my hair, which I thought turned out pretty cool. So who knows what's next? I may change the color. I may go back to blonde real soon. I don't know. And it's all going to be a surprise. But thanks to you, these tips are no longer going to be a part of my my look for at least, a few days, maybe longer, maybe weeks, maybe months. Who knows when we're going to go back to the salon? I know most of you guys go to barbers. I go to the salon. All right. That's how this happens. So that's the latest and the greatest. I love you guys. I thank you guys for all your support, all your love, and keep remodeling lives, right? And just know that we're all better together and we can come out of this COVID-19 thing stronger than we ever were if we do it together. I love you guys. God bless you.